When you fight someone like Edson Barboza, you can go into a fight and you can be confident that you're going to win, but he's kind of different in that no matter how you win, you're probably going to come out hurt. How does that feel? Why do you sign yes?
What's the difference between that and any other fight I've ever had in my entire career, though, right? I mean, it seems like every contract I sign, I end up coming out on the other end, even with wins. Punctured lungs, broken forearms, cuts over my faces. So he's going to be in the same boat. I think the interesting thing about this fight is you sign with Edson, even if you win, you know you're going to get hurt. You sign with Paul Felder, you're getting the same damn thing coming right back at you. So we're both going to be limping out of that cage. I'll just be limping out of that cage with a win.
What do you remember most about the first fight?
Man, I remember all the pressure, how out of place I felt, all the media stuff leading up to it, and then the actual fight. I remember just how fast he felt. But then I just remember more than anything the disappointment. I thought in the moment I had won that fight. So when I didn't get the decision, I was furious. Went backstage. I was pretty upset.
When you hear fighters saying, "Oh, I'd love to get that one back," sometimes I think it's almost just like that's the thing you're supposed to say. But when I hear you talk about that first fight, you can tell this has been something you wanted for a while.
Yeah. I've always wanted it back. That was my first big taste of the spotlight, right? And I really felt that I could have won that fight, and I feel like I was close to doing it. And if I had adjusted just a few things on the fly during that fight, I really honestly feel like I could have got that win. I hurt him really early to the eye. I mean, I shut his whole eye. And I laid off it. I stopped throwing left hooks, and I let his kick game start to take over, which kept me at bay instead of keeping the pressure, trying to work my hands. So that's why, yeah, I really want that one back because I feel like I really could have won it. And then, unfortunately, we became training partners for a little while. So then it became a fight I couldn't get back, and I became friendly with the guy. But it's been years now. We haven't trained together. And again, there's no disrespect. There's no animosity. It's just two fighters that are trying to move up the ranks, and we got put in front of each other, and I said yes, he said yes, and it gives me the perfect opportunity to get that win back, and I really want it, man. I really, really want it.
Is it because the first fight was so close that it's like, if you lose a fight handily, you sort of think like, well, I lost that one, but because you felt like you could have won that or you did win that, is that why it burned so much? Like, God damn it, I was so close, right?
Yeah, that because it was so close and it was so early in my career, it's like, man, what if I had more experience? What if I had more fights under my belt? How different could it have been? And the fact that I just didn't do a lot of things right, and I still did pretty well, it's like, it makes me so curious. And if it doesn't go my way, then okay, then he's better than me on the night. There's nothing I can do about it. But I really just want another shot at it and to put my best foot forward, which I don't think was 4 years ago.
He's 1-3 in his last 4, but would you agree that someone like Edson Barboza he could be on a 5-fight losing streak, and it doesn't matter, he could beat anyone on any night?
100%. That's what I tell everybody when I've been doing all these interviews. Anytime they bring up what his recent record is, I say I didn't even think about that. When they even gave me the fight, I didn't think, because I don't think about, his losses to Kevin Lee or Gaethje. I think about his win against somebody like Dan Hooker, who you see what he's capable of doing, and you see what Edson can do to him. So that's what I think about. I don't think about how they lose. I mean, I take what happens in their losses, and I try to implement it into my game plans and my strategy. But I picture and think about the whole training camp when they're at their best, when they're at their most dangerous. And you're right, on any given night, I mean, he can go in there and take out Khabib on any night. It's just that it didn't happen that night. But he lands one of those knees, one of those kicks, it's a different story.
With Dustin versus Khabib now, I feel like the 155-pound division is finally like steadying. It's been such a crazy division with interim champions and stuff like that. Is it kind of refreshing now to be in a division where you're like, I actually have a goal to aim for, and does it make a difference at all?
Oh, yeah, it does, because then you can start to try to plot out what you want next. You don't think past your win necessarily, but when you get it, there's clear ideas that you can have. Okay, I win, I beat Edson, who's ahead of me? And, those two guys are fighting. Okay, one of them's going to lose. They'll get knocked down. That guy's available. So-and-so will fight. You can start putting the pieces together. When you've got interim champion, so-and-so's hurt, we don't know when this guy's fighting, who do you call out? What do you try to get? Who are you going to get matched up? You might have to fight way under your ranking just because you need to fight. It's your career. You're trying to stay active. But it's not going to necessarily get you anywhere.
So now let's not look past your win, but let's make a fight right now. So do you fight the winner of Cerrone Gaethje?
I mean,
and do I get 10% because I just made that fight?
I think that's one of the ones I'm obviously looking at really close, as well as Dan Hooker and Iaquinta. Iaquinta is a guy who I, respect and was supposed to fight him twice. Gaethje's a guy I've made it very clear that I would love to match up with. But like I said, we'll cross that bridge on Saturday night when I get my hand raised.
Just so to be clear, you are one of the few human beings in the world who would willingly fight Edson Barboza and then Justin Gaethje right after. You must hate your legs.
They're going to hate their legs too. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Everybody, look at James Vick's leg after my last fight. They're going to hate their faces too when I start landing these elbows on them. But yeah, who needs legs? I mean, I get to fly business class when I'm doing commentary. I'll just kick them up the whole time, get them elevated, get that blood flow going.
Sweet. Thanks, man.